Hi, I'm Shabani. Welcome to the Curly Bookworm. So, well, Happy New Year! So, everybody's talking about New Year resolutions, and I've heard so many reading resolutions as well. And the broadest one is I want to read a lot more. And a lot of people keep asking me, how do I get so much reading done? Honestly, I read a lot in general, but also because I end up actually reading for about half an hour every day in the night. And then in the morning, when everybody's asleep and the house is really quiet, I tend to wake up early in general anyway, so I end up reading a little bit then. I'm not a big fan of resolutions. I can call them goals, but I'm not even a big fan of goals because resolutions feel like like you don't want to do it, but because of this New Year thing, you'll do it, and it feels like peer pressure. It feels like I don't know. It feels like people are forcing me to do something. And anybody who knows me even slightly knows that you force me to do something and I won't do it at all. Um, so there's a bunch of stuff that I'm curious about though, as far as like reading goes. So I read a lot of fiction, I read a lot of genres, but there's a bunch of stuff that I've heard so much about being reviewed, being talked about. All of BookTube talks about it. And I'm not into it for whatever reason. I haven't started. So if you have to talk to me about goals this year, it's probably going to be just stuff I'm curious about. For example, number one, I do not know anything about graphic novels. I don't know what the allure is. I don't know what's tempting, what makes it tempting. And so that's something I definitely want to check out. For example, last Christmas, not even 2015, I had been given this graphic novel, which is pretty cool. I can show you some pages too. It's called Howl, and it's by Allen Ginsberg, and it's animated by Eric Drucker. Books like that I've had, or I've seen online, and everybody's wrap ups are always talking about these great graphic novels. I haven't really picked them up, so I'd love to this year maybe pick up a couple and see what it's all about. Goal number two would be classics. I've read a bunch of classics, but they were mostly either for school or for college. I studied English literature in college, so we had to do a bunch of different classic texts to study and finish our term. But apart from that, I haven't really actively picked anything up. Then I can understand why, because when you're working or when you have full-time college or whatever it is that you have, it becomes tough to sort of get back home in the evening and immerse yourself into reading. That's really tough. Like authors that write really beautifully, but not necessarily fast paced. But having said that, I'm extremely curious about what kind of stories that are out there, style apart, that I'm missing. Through the year, my TBR is going to include a bunch of classics for sure, so keep a lookout on that. The other thing that I really happen to love and that I happen to even do is write poetry. So I'm extremely excited about poetry, but I only end up reading stuff online or seeing people's stuff. I don't have books dedicated. I mean, I have a couple of books that are dedicated to poetry. There's one that my best friend gave me last year. That one was a beautiful, beautiful book. And I want to buy more of those. I want to read more of those for sure. I'm so looking forward to this whole discovering this whole world of poetry. Really looking forward to it. Goal number four is basically audiobooks. I don't at all understand what audiobooks are about. One of my favorite booktubers was talking about Neil Gaiman's book, audiobook that she listened to, and that really got me intrigued. I guess it's the voice and the narration style that really gets you into it. I started one audiobook sometime last year and I didn't get into it at all. I just kept getting distracted. So I'm definitely going to give it a shot just because I'm so curious about, that world. One of the other things that I have not at all explored is nonfiction. Have I read nonfiction books? Yeah. Have I read the genre? Have I read any biographies at all? Yes, of course. And I love like historical fiction and the perspective that it brings in there. But it's also fiction. It's not just history. I've always felt like it's a bit studious, but I've always been extremely excited to discover the genre because I have so many friends and so many bookish people that I know love nonfiction. I'm definitely picking up a couple this year to kind of get into the world of it. Basically, I have graphic novels, I have poetry, I have nonfiction, I have did I just forget my goals? Graphic novels, audiobooks, poetry, nonfiction, and classics. So here's to my goals that are not really goals. Tell me what your goals are. Ask me questions. Tell me what you like to read or what you're curious about and what you want to read this year. Share all of that in the comments. And as usual, if you feel like you love this video and / or if you feel like somebody else likes this video, then share that love, subscribe to the channel, like, and all of that stuff. I will see you later. Bye. The one that I love the most has to be this one.